I saw recess having break. I saw me watch it freeze. Boy, we indifferently. Only speak that Japanese. I don't fear my enemies. Savage with admitting me. Really up now. Helicopters by the city. Circle getting small. I can't trust nobody with me, baby. Are you really down? Feel like nobody really round. Yeah, he's only up from down. Yeah, tell me if you down. Yeah, my pockets full of blue. Ass fat. What it do? Black or white. I get no type. You my baby for the night. She don't fuck with broke. Nigga, she don't.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Sakina. Today I wanted to make a video on my 20s and just things that I wish I knew when I was 20. I'm going to keep this video pretty conversational, but I do have some talking points so I don't forget anything. For those of you who don't know, I'm currently in my 20s. So in a way, I'm still figuring things out, but I did want to give you guys some tips on what I've learned so far. Because in a way, I feel like you're never going to stop learning. Before we jump into today's video, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below and turn on your post notifications so you get notified whenever I upload. I feel like in your 20s is where you learn to love yourself. I know we all hear,
like, in your 20s, you should be worried about this, you shouldn't be worried about that, you're too young for this, you're too young for that right now.
No, that's how you set for failure. The outcome of your 30s and your 40s is really based off of what you're doing in your 20s. Once your glow up does come, trust me, it will. You're going to be able to maintain it because you watched this video. Just going to be doing a little get ready with me for you guys today. I'm actually going out to have a little lunch. So the pencil that I'm going to be using for my eyebrows today is going to be the Maybelline New York Brow Ultra Slim in the color Deep Brown. So I feel like your 20s is supposed to be the time where you like learn to love yourself. I feel like we all are like aren't sure of ourselves, trying to find ourselves and all of this. Sorry if you guys see me looking off camera. I have a mirror right here to see what I'm doing because I feel like I really can't see. That's why there's a little break for me. Yes, it takes me this long to do one eyebrow. That's not perfect. You see? I'm kind of going for something like light. You know, I'm trying to do like natural makeup. So I have two different primers that I want to use today. I'm going to be using my usual Pore Professionals from Benefit Cosmetics. And I also picked, I haven't tried it yet, Primer Plus Serum Healthy Skin Peptides from Neutrogena. It looked pretty and it looks like it has some shiny stuff. It's the vibes it was giving. So usually I use Milk Hydro, but I'm gonna try not to use it today. I haven't been liking it recently and what it's been doing for my skin, so I'm gonna be trying a different combination today. I'm just going to be concealing my eyebrows with the Neutrogena Radiant Cream Concealer Healthy Skin in shade Hazelnut. Usually I like to use cashew, but I don't think they had any more cashew, so I got hazelnut, which is kind of close, but I don't know. I feel like the cashew has more like olive undertones, which I like a lot better. So the first tip I want to give you guys is I feel like the most important tip. Without this, like all of the other tips that I'm going to give you is going to be nonsense. It's going to be garbage and I'm going to be able to use it because this is so important. So important. Discipline is like the base for your future success. I'm going to give you an example. I'm at home right now because of COVID, like most of us. And I obviously don't really have to go to work, which is not really something I'm very familiar with because I've been working since I've been 18. So just working constantly is what I'm comfortable with, is what I'm used to. I'm not gonna lie, at first I really did enjoy staying in and sleeping in late and just, it's like a long extended vacation for me. Or like when you get summer off in school. While I was sleeping in, I actually wasn't getting anything done. So obviously, just aside from what I'm talking about, the, what is this, hazelnut concealer is very yellow and has a lot of yellow undertones. Being that I'm this pale in real life, I don't like to find foundations or concealers or anything that has this yellow tint to it because it makes you look, I don't know, nasty. So anyway, like I was saying, I was staying home, sleeping, feeling like I wasn't really getting anything done because honestly, I wasn't getting anything done. I was just staying home, resting, watching movies, eating, gaining weight. So I told myself, who is not a natural morning person, that I need to start getting up earlier. And my goal for myself was to wake up before 9 a.m. every day. And honestly, from the 9 a.m. goal that I had set for myself, once I achieved that, that transformed into waking up at 7 a.m. to go to the gym. So I'm not sitting at home staring at myself like, ew, what have you become? I mean, only positive for me though is like my gym is like down the block, so it's another reason why I felt like I should have probably like was able to get up and do things, because what are you doing? So even though I wasn't necessarily wanting, it's not mandatory for me to do it. It's all a part of discipline and disciplining myself for me to get up at that time, actually go to the gym, actually work out, you know? But it does make you feel good. So being disciplined is a very important way that you can level up in your life. So the next tip I'm gonna be giving you guys is plan everything. If you're able to, plan everything that you do. What's that saying? If you fail to plan, you plan to fail. I honestly believe that it is very true. Me personally, I've become a very organized person over time. I realize that being organized is very, very beneficial to basically anything that you want to do or accomplish. Honestly, over time, being organized is like a way of life, in my opinion. Oh, I'm just blending my face with a soft accent from like Real Techniques. It's brush 421. Just to let y'all know, y'all not gonna be seeing no real expensive brush things. Like I have like little accent pieces that cost a little money, but typically I'm a drugstore coin saving hooligan. You feel me? Planning is so important that I feel like even if you're planning the day before you are doing something, you're gonna get more things done. And I feel like the tasks that you do have will be like more seamless. Like you could do 1, 2, 3 versus if you're just freestyling and you're like, oh, I gotta go do this, you go do this, and you forget about the 3 other things that you have. Now you're backed up and you're stressed. When I don't plan, I end up forgetting tasks, leaving things undone that I was supposed to do, or just not having enough time to complete things. I'm gonna be using this cheap little Walgreens eyeshadow brush just to do a little quick eyeshadow look. It's not gonna be anything crazy. I'm gonna be using the Nubian by Juvia's Place. If you are one of the people who are interested in doing like planning, and I would recommend like getting a planner. So that could be a digital planner, that could be a physical notebook, whatever is like your medium. Typically I like to write in notebooks because I feel like it helps me like really remember things, but I also have a digital planner that's synced to my phone and my iPad. I feel like the digital planners are a little bit better in a way because you can kind of like customize it. You can choose specific pages and some styles of planners. You can choose how you want it to look. You can add certain sections because not all planners are, I feel like, helpful. Not all planners are necessary. Some planners have like sections in it that don't make sense, that you don't need. So I would say like digital planning is probably my preferred way now. Another tip that I want to give you guys is to educate yourself. Education is important. Even if it's not like college or doing anything crazy, like learn a skill, read a book, do something that's you don't know. Teach yourself a skill. You could go to Google and learn basically anything. Google is 100% free. You could also read a book. Some people don't like reading books. Listen to an audiobook. That counts as a book. You won't tell me that an audiobook not a book. Some people also just don't have time to sit and read books, but you can really learn so much stuff on your own. You want to keep your mind stimulated. If there's something you want to learn, find a book about it. Skillshare, if you are interested in paying for some things. Skillshare has a whole bunch of different skills that people can teach you. You can even do like the free trials. So I know some people have like sponsorships or some type of, situation with Skillshare. I do not. So this is not sponsored by Skillshare. But if you want to sponsor me, Skillshare. Other options are like podcasts as well. I feel like people have so much to teach each other. So my foundation is probably going to be the only thing that's a little pricey here. This is the NARS Sheer Glow Vanuatu Medium 3.5. Vanuatu, another huge tip that I feel like some of us start to forget that we should never forget is self-care. Yeah, you see that huge pimple that I just covered? Because I don't know what's going on. I'm trying not to pop anything, but ooh, they is tempting me. It is like a bright red, nasty looking pimple. Mind you, my birthday is tomorrow, so by the time this video is posted, I'm gonna be old. Oh yeah, I've been just using an e.l.f. foundation brush to apply this. And I'm gonna take my Juvia's Place foundation brush just to blend it in. This is probably one of my favorite brushes. It really does its job. It makes your skin look really good. I keep telling myself I'm gonna order more brushes because there's other brushes that you can get. I just ordered this because I had tried out the contour stick when it had first came out and when they had first introduced the Juvia's Place like foundations and stuff like that. I had got this foundation brush just to try it out. And honestly, I don't use any other brush at this point. But like I was saying, self-care. We have to take care of our bodies. You gotta exfoliate, moisturize, take your vitamins, drink your water, eat greens, exercise. Nobody wants to be the girl who was like the high school or college baddie turned washed out in your 30s and 40s, you know? Because we all know somebody like that. You can ask your mama. We all know a girl who was a hot girl back in the day, wind up turning out to be somebody with 8 kids, out of shape, not taking care of themselves, ran down. We have so many examples of women who are in their 40s and 50s who look half their age because they take care of themselves. You don't have to try. Honestly, I know as females, the caring type people that some of us may be, we tend to put other people ahead of ourselves a lot. I'm speaking from my personal self. I tend to put people ahead of myself a lot. And that I realized after a while is a problem. I shouldn't be putting people in front of myself. I gotta put myself first above anything else. Go get your nails done. Do a face mask. In reality, we spend a lot of time trying to please and help and satisfy other people. But we have to treat ourselves and care for ourselves like we would anybody else. So keep it a buck with you. I'm not the setting my face every 5 seconds type of person. But being that recently it's been a little hot, I am going to set this face and then I'm going to go in with concealer and everything else. So I'm going to be using the Dewy Set Setting Spray by Anastasia Beverly Hills. I like my face to look a little moisture, a little wet, because naturally I have dry skin. So I like to hydrate my skin as much as possible when I'm doing the face. So the next tip that I want to give you guys is about money management. So learning to budget obviously is super important. In your 20s, I think the best thing that you can do is to start investing and then start saving. Because in your 20s, this is basically where you learn how to put your finances together for the future. Because in your 20s, you're basically preparing for the next stage in your life. If you can't properly budget money now, what makes you think that in the future, when you have more money, that you're going to be able to budget that better? If you can't budget $1,000 now, how are you going to budget $10,000 in the future? You see what I'm saying? I would say invest in a Roth IRA account. Open a 401k at your job. Open a savings account and start saving for, your future, like a future house, future car. I feel like this trend that we have going on of like flexing when you really don't have it really needs to stop. You don't need the Chanel bag. You don't need the Off-White belt. You got to remember that most times these influencers and celebrities are usually put in a different position than you. Their parents usually already have money. They don't really have to work for what they have. So I don't think that it's healthy for us to even be in that situation where we feel like we're in competition with the biggest people. I'm not gonna be in competition with Beyonce. It's not gonna happen. She got it, Like I think we also need to focus on that. You need to realize who you are and work with what you have and work on what you can achieve. I feel like a lot of us are distracted. So the next tip, obviously, that follows money management, Buddy's money management, would be credit. I'm going to be going in with this hazelnut Neutrogena concealer for my under eyes, being that I realized that I didn't really like how yellow the above of my eyes went. I'm going to use a warmer tone for underneath my eyes and hopefully that'll do something. Gosh, it's yellow. So avoid ruining your credit. Obviously that sounds very vague and I feel like it's easier said than done, but please believe me, if you can't buy something 3 to 4 times over, you shouldn't buy it. Purchasing things that you can't pay down is super detrimental to your credit because once it gets into collections, it's gonna take a lot of work to get you back in good standing. And once it's in collections, honestly, your credit score is gonna get hit. When I say hit, I mean I maxed out 3-4 credit cards before I was 21. Oh, another thing, you guys may not see me carve out my nose too much. I'm kind of happy with how my nose is, so you won't see me go too crazy with that. So if you're a nose contour type of girl, this ain't, the spot. And I'm gonna be going with the Real Techniques brush in 217 just to blend. Before I get into that, I'm going to be doing the True Complexions contour palette. I wish I was able to get the medium to dark, but I got the dark to deep. And I'm gonna be using the Sculpt shade as my contour. I'm currently still repairing my credit to this day, though it's in a better place obviously now after all of the time, but still it took a very, very long time to even get back in good standing. The reason why credit and not ruining your credit at a young age is so important. You gotta look at your credit score as like a life report card, because it controls basically everything. It controls how much you have to put down, what your interest rate would be, where you can live, what kind of loan do you qualify for, you know, stuff like that. And all of that is actually very, very important as you get older and as you enter life and you want to buy a home, you want to get a car, set your kids up for school, take out a loan and start your own business. You need a good credit score in order to have any of that happen, because without a good credit score, the opportunity is not going to be awarded to you. Another tip that I want to give you guys, mind the business that pays you. I'm tired of everybody being in everybody's business. Maybe it's a personal thing. Maybe I should mind my business for being in y'all business about being in other people's business. We need to stop doing that, because in today's culture, we have a habit of being in other people's business. Always looking for tea, always throwing shade. You're a fan. I know you don't like to admit it, but that's fan behavior. Because you're sitting here spending your time and your energy worried about somebody else and how they live their life. Because if you're doing this, honestly, you need to stop. You don't have time to think about anybody else, to be worried about anybody else and what they're doing. And I say mind the business that pays you, because their business ain't paying you, obviously. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that I don't partake in the gossip, that I don't, but I'm not gonna indulge in it, because honestly, you could tell me about it, but you're gonna get oh wow, and that's crazy. Nothing more. Because in reality, you gotta ask yourself, are you where you want to be right now for you to be gossiping about other people? No? Oh, okay. This is rule number 8, invest in yourself. Sometimes I feel like we also have to look the part. We have a goal, we have who we wanna be, we know who we wanna become, but you don't necessarily look the part as of right now. That's where investing in yourself comes in. What is your career goal? Are you able to learn a skill regarding that career goal or to further you into that career? Do you want to work a 9 to 5, or do you want to work for yourself? Keep in mind, not everybody needs to be self-made. I don't like that people make working a 9 to 5, they make it seem so negative, so bad. What's negative is being broke. Anyway, investing in yourself is so important. You can't be so wrapped up in making money that you don't look like you're working towards your goal and furthering yourself. People's first impressions are really how they remember you. I'm not a baker, but I will be setting my face with the Airspun translucent powder and a beauty blender. And while this is baking, I'm gonna go apply my lashes. I'm gonna be just using some Ardell Mink lashes. I'm gonna put these on off camera because I'm not that good. Okay, now that we have lashes on, let's continue. Just gonna be brushing this powder away with the foundation shade of my color. So I feel like the way you look and the way you present yourself to the world is very important. I was raised to, always try to look my best, regardless if you're ever gonna see these people again or not, because you really don't know who you're gonna run into again later on in life. So if you want to be seen as or taken seriously or taken as a professional or seen as a professional or treated as one, you have to look the part. You don't have to spend too much. Subtle changes to make, simple, small things like your hair being neat and together, regardless if it's done or not. If it's not done, slick back into a ponytail or a bun, making it look neat, making sure your nails are done, you're dressed not, overly provocative, not breast to the world. Respect. Tip number 9. It's something that may be hard for some of us to come to terms with. Rule number 9 is pick your friends wisely, aka watch the company you keep. I feel that your friends determine where you end up. The type of friends that you have determine where you will end up and who you will become. When you're in school, you have a bunch of friends. I don't know about y'all, but I'm a little older now and I don't have all the friends that I used to. You do grow up and make goals for yourself. And sometimes, honestly, your friends just aren't on that same type of timing as you. Stop entertaining people that do not care about you. You know, the fake or the toxic friends that I'm talking about. With those friends, it seems like you always find yourself in a situation where you're doing more for them than they are doing for you. There are going to be people in your life who want to use you for what you have, rather that be materialistic sexual, or even your reputation, like who you are. Life happens. People come and go in and out of your life. And honestly, I feel like people do serve purposes. People have their purpose in your life. Not everybody's here to stay with you. Sometimes they're here to teach you a lesson, and then after you learn that lesson, they, it's done. And that goes for not only like friendships, but like relationships, any type of relationship that you seem that is not fitting for you anymore, any type of relationship that is toxic, negative, draining for you, your energy is not right, your aura is not right, your vibe is not right. You don't need that. For my lips, I'm probably just gonna do like a brown liner, just real light. I'm probably gonna go in with a lip shine lip gloss. This is from NK. You can get this at like Sally's or any beauty supply store. Tip number 10, the last tip that I also feel like I added this at the end because I feel like this is a huge issue that a lot of people deal with, not just, like people in their 20s. And that is, failing is okay. I know people don't usually like to hear that. People don't want to hear that, and they feel like that's like a way of you trying to like make them feel better or whatever. Like, no, this ain't about you. Failing is okay, because a lot of people fail. It's not just gonna be you. You're not gonna be the first person to try something and it does not work. That's not ever gonna be the case. Everyone fails at some point. You have to learn to accept failure and to don't be so hard on yourself. You have to give yourself time to learn, and don't be afraid to make mistakes often and learn from them. Because honestly, we have to be careful with being overly critical of ourselves just because you're not exactly who you want to be. Okay, I'm gonna take out these pink rolls. I'm going to slick them down with my slick stick, I really hope these tips help you guys out, because regardless of your situation, financial struggle, obstacles in your way, if you are determined, you're gonna make it happen. And that's just that.
Period, sis.
I feel like as long as I help one person and they feel like they learned something or they gained something from today's video, then that's all that matters. If you guys have any questions about anything that we spoke about today, please let me know either down in the comments or on Instagram. I love you guys for watching. Until next time, bye.